Welcome, everybody. My name is Jeffrey St. Laurent, and as you can see, waiting in the bullpen is my fantastic guest. Let me bring him on in a second. This show is totally blowing my mind, so it is going to blow your mind too when you see this. But I do record all of my Tuesday live shows. I put them on my university on my website, sellingcoaching.com. So please check that out. I got a lot of great resources. I help coaches transition to a full-time business. You can always start off right on the homepage if you enter your name and email. Not only is that going to get you my fantastic resource, which is an audio resource called Launching Your Coaching Business, the First 3 Vital Steps, but that's also going to put you in my email community, which is a pretty cool freaking thing because I send out emails on a weekly basis. And this guy right here, first of all, let me welcome Carlos Candiz. Welcome to the show, man.
Hey, thanks, Jeff. It's just such a pleasure being here, man.
From Trinidad and Tobago, which I don't even know where that is. No, I do. But so he's here. And this guy I met in 2009, I think we've determined, right? And he was at one of my speaking events that I went to way back in 2009. And we had a conversation. He got my book. I had an 8 CD audio course that he got as well. And we kind of went our separate ways. We had a few conversations early on about maybe working together, doing some things, which never necessarily developed. And then about like last month, right? A month and a half ago, I get this phone call out of the blue. And I looked at my phone, the caller ID, and no one ever calls me on my business line unless it's a client. So I typically don't answer unless I have an appointment. And I saw the caller ID. I didn't recognize it. I'm like, oh, it's probably just a telemarketer. But something inside of me just answer it. So I answered the phone, and there was like this pause, and I'm thinking, oh, it's a telemarketer. And it's got this guy on the other line, Jeff, it's Carlos. And I'm like, who? He's like, Carlos. He's like, do you remember about, and I'm like, oh my God. And it was insane. So I want to get you talking now because there's so much we got to talk about. But tell me what spurred on that call. Because 2009, so like 12 years later, and we hadn't spoken really in 12 years, right?
That's right.
And you call me out of the blue. Run me through what was happening on your end.
Well, it was really so amazing. Your book. Seen it? Where is it? Your book. You wrote this book when? 2009?
Yeah.
Right. This is the book you gave me together with the CD package. And in this book it says, Carlos, dream big. Jeff St. Laurent. You wrote that.
Dream big, baby.
Right? Yeah. And I started about a month ago, just before I called you, using this book. I picked it up several times, put it down. In 2021, this book has become so relevant to what I am doing right now that I started sharing this book with my team every Sunday night, the male leaders and my team. I am part of a company from Estonia called Success Factory. We're into total digital products. I'm in the tech space. So my business is the $1 trillion markets. But before I got there, guys, when I met this young man at that speaking event, of all the people that walked across that stage, no one impressed me like Jeffrey St. Laurent. I'm telling you, right? This guy was just on fire. As a matter of fact, if you can see this here, that's how he was. When he's speaking, he's on fire. That's how I am. And I was like, so we met right after, and that was it. We had conversations, 1 or 2 years in between, but then he was on a trajectory, I was on a trajectory. But I think what surprised him with the call is, because I let him know, man, that there wasn't a day that went by that this guy wasn't in my head. Everything about trying to take care of my health, trying to take care of my relationships, trying to take care of my business. I mean, I went through some devastation quickly. A $15 million business loss, of a one political decision that was made in my country. Belly up, right? It was so bad, bro. I woke up in a private hospital with wires coming out my head. Right? Survived that. Started to build it. Started to move again. Then I had 9 deaths in my family. And this is immediate family. It was like back to back. You had no time to grieve for anyone. The worst was my first daughter. That devastated me. Apart from everything that was going on in my life, I could climb any mountain. I can go under, I'll go around. I will find a way. When that happened, it's like you took a spoon and just dug my heart out. There was nothing there. For 2.5 years, I was just dead. I skip all the things in between that went on. I was just dead. Yet, this year, January, a personal friend of mine says, listen, I have to see, I know what you're going through, but we have to talk. You cannot have your business and everything else, your family, because, I mean, I'm married, I still have a 14, and it's like they didn't exist, because this is my daughter from my first marriage, and my ex-wife and I were really close, and that brought us even closer together, right? Man, I just went over the deep end. It was total depression. Everything just went. My whole businesses. I lost my career job. You're talking about my home went for the last 4 years with a loss of between $80,000 to $120,000 a month in income. You know, it was just a mess. And something had to give. So I lost that 15 million with a political decision. And I had that devastation. I says, okay, pull yourself together, Los. Let's do this. So I started to focus a little more, read, trying to put my house in order. Because listen, I tell people I do not need to go to a psychiatrist like psychologist. I am supposed to be able to fix myself. I know myself. So I go into my subconscious. Bro, things start to look good. I have online travel business, ground travel. I'm bringing tours in. I'm making money. Boom, COVID. In 6 months, I'm broke.
Oh, with COVID, that happened. So that's last year.
Listen, yes. I went from a 300,000 a pop tour income to zero. And I'm like, this is not happening. So what do I do? So then that friend came. And it's interesting. I mean, this dude, I have to call his name. This guy, he grew at my feet like I grew at yours. And now he is my leader, business leader. The guy's phenomenal. And he always says, I learned from you. I learned from you. And I'm just so proud to follow him. And he showed me one of the businesses that I had online doing that I just left. Jeff, sometimes the strongest feeling you have is your emotions. And when it goes out of whack, everything goes out of whack. He helped me focus, restructure. Guys, I can tell you right now, I'm having the best time of my life. I just turned 60. You understand? I'm making money every day. I'm in the tech space. I mean, I have virtual reality. You see, here's how COVID is working for me now. All the business that I lost, people can now sit at home, put on a pair of ocular glasses and have a virtual experience that they never had. Anything you could do in your daily life, Jeff, because I want your entire coaching system on our platform. People from all over the world will be able to view your classes, be there. So we can talk about that. So from that to here, and then when I started this book, I said, this is it. Let me tell you something. My 10 energy pills are used this way. 6 to 8 for business, 1 to 2 relationships, 1 to 2 health, buddy. How about that?
That's awesome. And those of you who don't know, like your energy points, like I talk about, you have your resources, you have, money and time, etc. But your energy is expendable. You can't just get more energy. Like you can make more money, you can put aside more time. So I haven't heard anyone talk about that in a long time, my friend. So it's so cool to hear because it's like you said, we met at that event, you're in a certain path of your life. And then, you went through, never mind the loss of family members, but just with your relationships, your health, your finances, especially too, right? Yeah. Some very highs, very lows, and then working your way back, right? Just even up through COVID to only have that be taken away. And so I admire your resiliency. I think Jose, one of my good clients wrote resilience. He admires that resilience, right? There's something inside of you though that I always saw, like what got me fired up in our initial conversations was that there was this passion inside of you that no matter what happened, you couldn't be taken down. And I think that's what I admire about you. That's why when I get that call, you know, and we're having that conversation, like, dude, I was literally crying on the phone. I'm not like sobbing, crying, but like I've got this guy calling me, and this is like for all the coaches out there, this is what I want them to hear. If anything, is we never know who we're going to impact in our lives. And it's nice when people hire us and they work with us. But like, I remember that event, man, Travelencia. Like was it Florida?
That's right.
And I flew down to Florida. And I remember that event. I sold some books and CDs and stuff like that, but I don't remember getting any clients from it. I remember going away from that being like, wow, it was a good event. I met some good people. But like monetarily wise, it wasn't like, oh, I walked out of there with a bunch of clients. Still great. And there's been, I always account for business in different ways, you know. And I think the biggest thing is you never know the impact you're going to have on someone just from, it could be this show, right? Someone could be watching this right now and it could literally alter and change their life. And it might not manifest for 10, 15, 20 years from now, right?
That's right.
Like for you, you went through a lot, but then all of a sudden, you know, you're just like, you turn things around and you saw that book on the bookshelf and boom, things hit.
Yeah. And I always used to have the CDs in the car too. So it was, like I said, you were a constant companion, right? People need to understand, regardless of what you go through in life, it all boils down to you. The decision is always yours. I let nothing, no situation, and no one steal my dream. Nothing. I am in Success Factory, is a company out of Estonia. We into cryptocurrency. Yeah, example. The only licensed and registered cryptocurrency as everyday money by the European Union. People will tell me, pyramids and Ponzi's. I'd say, go to my first class. That's about a year ago, and you learn all about what a pyramid is and what Charles Carlo Ponzi actually did. This is not that legitimate business. They would prefer shortcuts. They want it now. They're not prepared for the delayed gratification. Because like I said earlier, if it was easy, Bill, every one of us would be multi-billionaires long time. It ain't easy. Success is never easy. Life is going to continuously beat the crap out of you. Here's what you need to do. You need to learn to fight back. Because what life is actually teaching you is how to survive. It's not beating you in the ground. It's teaching you how to survive. But a lot of people do this and just keep taking the blows. No, bro. You hit me, I'm going to hit you back. You tell me I can't, I'm going to show you I can. All right? You show me you come from left field, I'm going to still steal that base. Okay? You want to toss that Hail Mary in the end zone, I'm the guy going to catch it. Yeah. So it's all about you. Doesn't matter what is going on around. Tap in here. There's so much going on. Like I tell guys, Jeff, where you are sitting, that head on your shoulders. Let's take two parts of your brain. You have over 14 plus billion brain cells, each individual brain, and over 25 billion neural connections, to which is what artificial intelligence is copied after. So if my brain has just those two elements, forget all the synapses with those connections and what the pineal gland does, because I'm a researcher, so I am a lot of stuff. So if you can take that and create a machine, why should I let that machine be smarter than me? Then I can take those same neural connections and cells, go into my subconscious mind that knows no defeat, and reprogram and rewire myself. And I do that constantly. I'm always rewiring and reprogramming because technology is always rewiring and reprogramming. People, you cannot do the same thing every day expecting a different result. Oh, there's a word for it. It's called insanity. Do things different. Don't be afraid of change. And listen, when you have people like Jeff who will tell you, go for it, you could do this, there's nothing to stop you. You need to listen to that as opposed to the other friend who's telling you, but if it was me, I wouldn't do that. Okay, so what's the solution? They have nothing. So who's the guy you listen to? Listen to the guy who's leading you down the right path. Listen to yourself. Yeah, Jeff? Making sense?
Making sense, brother. This is great. No, because I want you to listen to as it listen to how you speak, what you're saying, the mindset behind what you're saying, right? Like you can tell you've rewired, you've reprogrammed, and you don't stop. The one thing I got out of that was like the always part. We're always working at ourselves, you know, like I've been doing this since 2004. I can't stop. I can't just sit back and go like, oh, I've been doing it, you know, whatever, 19, whatever years and 17 years. And I got
Passion
it made.
has no limits.
No.
Passion has no limits.
No. And life will always beat you down and it will never stop. Right. So perfect testament to you. Like you said, you've gone through so much and then you got your business back. You started working and you were doing really, really well. And then COVID hit and you went from wherever you were at to zero.
Yeah, zero.
And you could have sat there and thought back to yourself and said like, oh, I've made it. Right. Oh, I've made it. I did it again. I'm going to be okay. And then out of complete nowhere, this virus hits and you go back to zero.
Yeah, man.
And you got to start from zero again.
And the funny thing is, and this is how opportunity appears. You have to be one, ready, and two, be able to recognize it. I am making the most money ever because of COVID.
Yeah.
Ever. Because I'm all tech. My virtual reality product, imagine this. I mean, you guys love your vacations. 94 million people a year visit Italy. They're all home for the last 3 years because of COVID. 13 million would visit Morocco. 18 million would visit Vietnam. Guess what? They are highly subscribing to our virtual product because it's tech. You put on a pair of Oculus glasses and you literally transport yourself to those destinations. Bro, that I say, people can go to your educational programs and courses. They can revisit concerts, past and present. The things you can do in that space is phenomenal. I own shares in Vietnam. I own shares in Morocco. I have set up online businesses for my 3 granddaughters. I'm in a position, Jeff, as I can say on your show, that I have broken the poverty cycle in my generation. My granddaughters and nieces will never have to look for a job in their lives. My sons, they'll never have to look for a job in their lives. And this product is launching in the next 14 months. Amazing. You have to go through, like I say, you have to get to the end of that tunnel. Have to. Because I tell you, bro, right now, future's so bright, man, Ray-Bans ain't doing much.
Exactly. It's so cool to hear where you're coming from. And then there's the space that I want to share with people as we start to pull this together too, is that it's the consistency and the relentlessness that you have towards where you're going after. And it's that relentless pursuit of what you want, which is the vital piece. But it's also the consistency of communication. Like I said to you earlier, like the last time we spoke, you know, for that phone call was back in 2009, you know, maybe, you know, in that year, you know, a couple times on the phone. Right. And, but I said, well, I'm like, but you were on my email list, right? And you're like, yeah. And you've been getting my emails every freaking week for the past 12 years. Right. And I know you haven't read them all, but of course,
you know,
right? But that's
you're always there.
I'm always there. I'm always in Carlos's face. He can't get rid of me.
And this is the thing. Someone is always there for you. You just have to know who it is. That's it. That's it. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. People, I cannot say enough about this guy. And you know I'm being genuine because I haven't spoken to him in however long. You know, I'm using material that he gave me how long ago, and it's now relevant. It's now making me, I mean, I'm on the next level. I'm on the next level. I'm saying, listen, remember this. I often ask people, why do you really watch movies? For me, I would watch cable because I'm looking at ads more than movies because I want to learn how to market. What is the subliminal message you send? How are you tapping into that customer base? So I watch ads. But when I do watch a movie, I need to get something from it. Russell Crowe and Gladiator said this. What you do in life echoes in eternity. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Gladiator.
What you do in life echoes in eternity. All right? Yeah. And coming back to what I said earlier, where you have to keep tweaking yourself. What did Neo say to the new crew he met? Upgrades. Yeah?
Yes.
Installment?
Yeah.
That's what you have to keep doing. Remember what you do will echo in eternity, because if you do it good, someone of your generation, someone would say to them, or say to someone in passing as you pass, do you know who her great-grandfather was? Do you know who her uncle was or her brother was? Now imagine you did something horrendous. Then they'll say, do you know who her grandfather was? What you do in life echoes in eternity. You understand? And one more. He also said, or his master said to him, win the crowd, win your freedom. Build relationships. Success is inevitable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. And I what I want people to hear from this whole thing too is that like from the brief parts of your story that you shared, the longevity of a relationship like ours, which has been mostly virtual and not knowing it was there, but we always had something, right? And I know there's hundreds of other people out there like you that I've impacted, and like obviously you've impacted now and in the past, that you keep doing it, because you're not always going to get that instant gratification. And I think that's the biggest thing is everyone wants to do something and then get something, do something and then see something, do something and then feel something, right? But like the tangible result is later on. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's way later on.
Yeah.
Way later on.
Focus on one area over a long period of time.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Right?
That's it. That's my message in the book. It's like you want to get really great at something. It's not like, oh, I want to try and balance this wheel of life and have all these areas and try and balance. It's like, no, like pick one thing you really want to be good at. Put most of your energy, most of your time into that over a long period of time. Don't neglect the others to where it goes to hell. But yeah,
and that's why you use your day as an energy pill. And what I did is I've set up, and I think it was from the same book, I set up the box calendar. So 6 a.m. I get up, wake, meditate, pray. 7, I know, okay, 6:45 is exercise. By 7:30, breakfast, go to drop in the wife to work. By the time I get back home, the alarm does go off, read, being fulfilled. Right? Yeah. And then I start my work at 9 o'clock. So I open up the computer and I'm selling cryptocurrency every day. I'm adding affiliates. I'm working on new prospects. 10 to 12 is self-educate. So I stop work, I read, or I do research. Lunch, because I got this from M&M. M&M comes to the studio at 8 a.m., has lunch at 12 to 1, starts work at 1, finishes at 4 every day. Done. And M&M is a multi-billionaire rapper. But a schedule, you structure your day, and that's what you said, you structure your day. Right? Yeah. So when I finish at 4, 1 to 2 for relationships, 4 to 7, I take no phone calls, I do nothing, that's family time, dinner, because I'm a stay-at-home dad for the last 4 years, stay-at-home husband, so I cook, I wash, I clean. And that's a Caribbean thing. Or Trinidad and Tobago is a little 1.3 million people island in the Caribbean. We are just at the top right-hand corner of Venezuela.
Yeah.
We were part of Venezuela. We're the carnival people. Let me hear about Toronto Carnival, Notting Hill Carnival. That started here. Brooklyn Labor Day. That all starts here. We are the guys. Party Central in the Caribbean. Yeah, so I have my day structured. So by 7:30 now is when I have business meetings in the night. And that's where we're teaching the affiliates, we're sharing different things. So it's my network university. And I started that actually because of that tragedy with my daughter more than anything else. Because I have a goal. And I have a team now that's helping me with that goal. I must donate $1 million to University Hospital in New Jersey. Because that cancer hospital kept my daughter alive when my own country misdiagnosed her for an entire year. She had a rare bone cancer.
Wow.
Right? So that is how Network University TNT was born. And I teach business. I teach for free. I get in people's head. I will teach you business. I will teach business. And then I will teach mental business, because you need to change your head game if you're going to succeed. You understand? So I'm having fun, bro.
I can tell you're having fun. Dude, I could do that. I do this all day with you. I want to thank you because we do this work. We want to help people. Obviously, we want to earn money, right? We want to make a living for ourselves. We want to have more than enough to provide a lifestyle for ourselves, for our family, for our children, like you said as well. but there's a bigger why, obviously, behind all of that, fueling it all. It's not money, right? And of course, when you don't have the money, it's everything. When you have the money, it's different, right? But
it just makes it easier.
Yeah, of course, it makes it easier. But you coming back into my life the way you have through that phone call, through this conversation, and who knows what the future brings, right?
Oh yeah.
It's reinforced things I've experienced on some levels by being in the game long enough. But it's what I want for every single person that I've ever worked with or that will work with, is that they stay in the game long enough so that someone like you, who they meet at some point in some random occurrence that they might even not even know or remember at sometimes, that some point in the later future, years down the road, decades down the road, that they come back and they get the emotions and the feelings that you've given to me. Because what you've given back to me, just from what I gave to you I spoke for an hour? I don't even remember, right? 12 years ago. And like, oh yeah, let's talk a little bit. Here's my book and whatever. And that's worth so much more than you could ever earn. And it's, I can't even express it.
That's more value than money.
Yeah. I value you.
Since then,
yeah.
I've spoken on many stages since then.
Yeah.
Right. I've been a motivational speaker for a lot of groups. I literally enjoy lifting people up. Come on, man. There's a lot of room up here. What you doing down there?
Yeah.
Hey, this is we still have 4 minutes. I'm just checking the time to make sure we don't go over. But okay. Yeah, Jeff, listen. Life is too short. It's too sweet. Despite everything that you go through, it is to shape you. Embrace it. Deal with it. And let go. Just you can't run from it. So hey, you know it's gonna come. Embrace it. Deal with it. Let go. Move on. Yeah, that's how I got back on my feet. I remind you folks, don't think there wasn't a lot of crying and breaking things and tearing up rooms in the house and all that. I just didn't go into the little details. But it's a battle. But you can win. You can win. Listen, failure is not an option. I don't care what you do or who you are. Failure is not an option. And that's why, and other things that I learned from Jeff is you see that whole family bond. It's very important. Very important. It doesn't matter if you're together or if you're apart. But you see the one in the middle, the kid, regardless, never let that relationship die. That is eternal. You can always get another wife, you can always get another husband. But fatherhood, not even death, separates parented people.
Right.
That's where love is. That's your biggest one.
Carlos, man, all my love to you, man. This has been awesome.
Anytime you need me.
Same here, and that's it. And thank you for all the people that are on watching us live. And I hope you take something amazing away from this that you always remember. And especially when things get really hard, that's the truest measure of character. And that's that we're both here. The fact that we're both here, right? I had to keep doing my thing, and he had to keep doing his thing, and we'll have another reunion in 10 years from now, whatever, but it doesn't stop.